All right, guys, we have a new special edition Seiko Willard here to check out that Nick and the crew from Exquisite Timepieces sent over. They're down in Naples, Florida. Link in the description. Tell them I sent you. But this is the SPB263, retail price $1,400, so it's right on point with the rest of the Willards. For the most case, using the 6R35, which has, a little more power reserve. I think it's at like 70 hours, and still beats at the 3.5 hertz or 21,600 vibrations per hour. So you can see the sweep of the seconds hand there. That's a standard Seiko affair. 24 joules, hacking, hand winding, all that good stuff. Let's get into the watch. So case size, width, I measure 42.7 millimeter. The lug to lug is basically 46 millimeter, and you do have drilled lugs. Thickness, I measure 14 millimeter up to the chamfered and single domed sapphire crystal up top, but it's going to still feel more like a 13.5 mil, like most divers, definitely most Seiko divers. It's going to feel just like that. You have a 20 millimeter lug width here, and this bracelet tapers down to 18. Pretty standard affair here with the clasp system too. You have the milled center section here, and then you have the stamped outer part here, keeping a very slim profile for micro adjust, and an oversized keeper that just snaps down really nice. I don't know why, but I like that sound, the snip and the snap of the Seikos. I know there's no like ceramic ball bearings or anything fancy or anything like that there, but it's still just a satisfying sound to me for some reason. The dive extension is right here, tucked away, standard Seiko affair there. That's just to meet some sort of ISO certification. Nobody I know actually uses the Seiko dive extension, so I'm sure most of us would be fine with it being deleted, but they have to keep it to keep the ISO certification that, meets that specification and requires all of that. So bezel action, 120 click, standard Seiko affair. Nice resistance on this one. Nice consistent sound. Does it line up? This one actually lines up. This one's pretty dang solid. So that is good to see that. Occasionally does happen. Let the jokes, happen down in the comments, I'm sure. This does have like a dye shield. I don't know if they're calling it dye shield anymore, but it has some sort of anti-scratch coating applied to the watch head and to the bracelet, so it should be semi-scratch resistant as well. Screw down crown, kind of in this offset position here, is 6.5 millimeter, and it is definitely shrouded with a crown guard type style case, if you will. You can see there it's plenty protected, but still easily accessible. It's not difficult to operate. You can just unscrew it like that. You can wind it here. Of course, you can pop it out, hacks the movement, stops the seconds hand, and you can go ahead and set the time for whatever you want. Push it back in, screw it down. Make sure you keep that water resistance at full 200 meter. So there you go. There's a quick look at the finishing on this thing. Very well done. And like I said in the beginning, this is a special edition. So you'll see on the case back there underneath that blue sticker, it does say special edition, which means it's not limited, right? But from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but I could be right, that special edition from Seiko typically means that they're going to make this watch like this year. Now, could they do it again? Sure, because it's not limited to any particular number, but it is a US special edition ice diver is what it's called. It has an aluminum bezel insert that's kind of like a grayish color. It really plays with the tones of that gray in the light, depending on if you have direct light or if you go shadow, it gets really dark, and it really plays nice with that beautiful ice blue dial with that texture. Very legible, very nice and easy to read. Let's zoom back out. We'll pop this on wrist so you can see what it looks like on my 7.25 inch wrist. At some point, I will add a Seiko Willard to the collection. I believe that's going to happen in 2023. I just haven't decided exactly which one I want. I'm still in the camp that I think that like military green looking one with maybe a Milanese mesh strap or something, or bracelet, whatever you want to call it, would work really good. But these lighter colored ones just look and feel a little more premium for some reason. So I might go that route. It's hard to say. This one, like I said, to me, just with all the ones I handle, yes, it feels like a standard Willard, but it just looks nicer and more upscale. And I think it's just the color tones and the dimension of the dial, I think, is what really is playing with my head here. So let me give this a quick blast with the UV light so we can get the full effect on the lume shot. There we go. Plenty of lume on these Seikos, as we have come to expect. And again, big thanks to the crew at Exquisite Timepieces, Naples, Florida. You can order it right online, or you can call them up. Pretty much everybody there I've met, and you could just tell them that Random Rob sent you. Negotiate the best deal possible. See you on the next vid.